Uh, Hello students. Today our 15th session on C++. We were discussing about class concept. So in the last session I have told you about classes. So inside class we define two things, properties and functionality. Second thing, memory is not allocated for the class, memory is allocated for the objects. Now, by default, the member of class are always private. We can define some of its member as a public also. And private member cannot be accessed outside from the class. Even the object of the class cannot access it. We can only access public member of the class outside from the class by using the object and dot operator. So today we have to discuss about that. In last session you have seen some programs that you were defining your member function inside the class. Now we can define our member function. So what is member function? The function which is defined inside the class. So we can define the member function inside the class as well as outside the class also. Various questions arise in our mind. Then how I'll identify that which is a normal function and which is a member function? There are a lot of things we'll discuss one by one. Don't worry. So if we are going inside the class, we have seen last day examples, various example of class. We can define any member function as outside of the class also. So what will be the syntax while we are going to define the function outside from the class? Declaration will be inside the class, but definition will be outside from the class. So let's take an example. Right now I'm in Dehradun and somebody is asking, where is your hometown? I'll not say my hometown is in Dehradun. I'll say that I am from Bihar and from this district. But my definition is here. Again, I am here, but somebody will ask from my father that how many children you have. He'll count me also because I belongs to that class only. So whenever you are going to define a member function outside from the class, your declaration will be inside the class and definition will be outside from the class. And how to define a function outside from the class? The syntax is return type, class name, scope resolution, function name, and argument list. So what is this class name, scope resolution? That will tell to the compiler that this function name belongs to this class. This is not a normal function. This is a member function. For example, you are seeing there is example given here. And in this example, there are two functions, print name and print ID. These both are member function. So print ID is defined inside the class, but print name I have just declared it inside the class. How to define this outside from the class? You are looking return type, that is void. Class name is gigs, colon, function name is print name. Now this is, even though outside from the class defined, this belongs to the class gigs. There is a main method, you can compile it and run it, you will find it out, and the calling will remain same. Look, nothing will be changed, no concept will be changed. Just we are seeing that a member function can be defined inside the class as well as a member function can be defined outside from the class. And I have told you that if you are defining any member function outside from the class name scope resolution will come. Class name and scope resolution will tell the compiler that this function belongs to this class. This is not a normal function. Rest every concept, if it is a private member function, it will not be accessed by using object. If it is a public member function, it can be accessed by using the object. Now next concept is static members in C++. What is the meaning of static? Why we are going to create the data member, that means variables inside the class, as a static? Let me tell you, first of all, forget about static. Let me ask a scenario from you. Let's suppose I just want to create a class for you, student. I need to contain the information name, roll number, and age. That is okay. I have taken a class student, string name, int roll number, int age. There is a function accept data using which I am taking the value, and there is a function display data using which I am displaying the value. So first student is coming, memory is going to be allocated for the first student, name, roll number and age I have taken. Second student is coming, memory is allocated for the second student. I have again called accept data function and value has been taken, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So this is absolutely right, no problem at all. Now I am modifying this class. I just want to take two more information like faculty name and university name. Do you think some problem? Yes, a lot of memory is going to be wasted. How? Because we all know that memory is allocated for object, not for class. And for every object, separate memory is allocated. Do you not think that university name will remain same for every student? Faculty name will remain same for every student? But still, name, roll number is, that is okay because that all is different. But faculty name and university name is common for all. But still, memory is allocated for every individual object separately, and a lot of memory is going to be wasted. What is a solution? Static. Static is a solution for this. So we can define properties as well as function both. So static data member and static member function both inside the class. So first discuss about static data member, static variable inside the class. So static data member, static variables are the variables which does not allocate memory for individual objects separately. It allocates memory for the entire class once, and this memory can be used by every object. I'm repeating again, static variable does not allocate memory for individual objects separately. It allocates memory only once and shared by all the objects regardless of the number of objects. Now if you will think, let's suppose faculty is going to be changed. Earlier X was teaching you, now Y is teaching you. Tell me that change will reflect on only one object or for entire class? That will reflect for entire class, not for one object, because that is a separate memory. So what I have written, we can define class member static using a static keyword. When we declare a member of a class as static, it means no matter how many objects of the class are created, there is only one copy of that static. The static member is shared by all the objects of the class. All static data is initialized to 0 when the first object is created. If no other initialization is present, we cannot put it in the class definition, but it can be initialized outside the class as done in the following example. We'll see the example by redeclaring the static variable using the scope resolution operator to identify which class it belongs to. So let's take an example. There is a class box, there is a static variable in text, and there is a normal data member y. I have created a function get, and which is receiving an argument t. I have written y equals to t and x plus plus and displaying x and y. Now you are looking outside from the class. I have written data type int, class name scope resolution x equals to 0. So that I have told you in the previous slide that a static variable can, by default it is initialized with 0. We can initialize it with any value after declaring it outside from the class. So that is known as initialization of a static variable. Now you are looking, there are three objects b1, b2, b3. Now tell me, for b1, b2, b3, separate memory will be allocated, but not for x. X will be a common memory. Now b1 has a memory for y, b2 has a memory for y, and b3 has its own memory for y. Now you have written b1.get10. That 10 will be received inside a variable t. Now y has 10, so b1 has a separate memory that will contain 10, and x will be increased to plus 1, means the value of x will be 1. Now when you will display b1 dot display, the value of x will be 1 and y will be 10. Now you are passing 20. When you will pass 20, a separate memory for y, that will be 20. But for x, the value is now 2. And that 2 is not only for b1. So even though you are calling it from b1 dot display, b1 has a separate memory for y. The value of y will be 10, but x is now 2. Again you are calling with b2 dot display. The separate memory is for y. that is 20, but the value of x is now 2. Again you are calling b3.get30. So y, b1 has a separate memory for y that will contain 30, but x is now 3 for all object because that is a common memory. So when you will call b1.display, the value of x is even 3, b2.display, the value of x is even 3, and b3.display, the value of x is even 3. A static member function. So what is a static member function? Now, tell me, now, before asking from you, I just want to tell you two things about static member function. So static member function are the function which can only access static member inside it. Static member function can only access static members inside it. You cannot use non-static member inside it. Now tell me that does static function has anything which belongs to a specific object? Think. Does static member function has anything which belongs to a specific object? No, because static function only accessed static members, and static members belongs to the entire class, not from any object. Memory is for static variable we have seen memory is allocated only once, not for individual objects separately. Now, a static function cannot be accessed by using object. It is always called by using class name and scope resolution. So there are two things. Static functions can only access static members inside it. And the second thing, static functions can be called by using class name and scope resolution instead of object. So in the previous example, I have created a static function so, and tell me, if I am writing cout x inside so, that is absolutely right because a static function can only access a static member. But when you will write cout y, that is an error because y is a non-static member and you cannot access inside the static function. And one more thing you will see that while I am calling this so method, I have used class name scope resolution. So a static function cannot be called by using the object, it is called by using the class name. Friend function. So what is friend function? Friend function, generally you know that the private member of a class cannot be accessed outside from the class. Friend function is the exception of this rule. By using the friend function, we can access the private member of the class outside from the class also. Now, there are certain things that you need to take care while you are using friend function. Friend function is declared inside the class as a friend by using a keyword friend. I am repeating, friend function is declared inside the class by using a friend function. Don't be confused. Let's suppose I am your friend. I am not the member of your class. And somebody is coming in your home and asking, who is this person? You will say, he is my friend. There nobody know I am Pankaj. So at the time of declaration of friend function, you need to use friend keyword. And at the time of declaration, while you are using friend keyword, that doesn't mean that that function belongs to that class. Now, wherever I live, nobody knows that I am your friend. My definition is independent from you. So at the time of defining the function, you do not need to use any class name scope resolution, any friend keyword. So when you will see the given slide, you will see there is a function type function name. That is a normal function that is defined outside from the class. There is nothing new in this function, that is just a normal function like C language. Now I want to make this function as a friend of your class. For making this function as a friend, you need to declare it friend inside the class. You can declare it either in private or public section. It's your choice. That doesn't matter. If it is a friend, it can be declared anywhere. And the time of declaration of friend, you are looking inside the class. I have used friend keyword. And while I have declared this function as a friend inside the class, now this function can access the private member of the class by using the object. How I went in your home? With the help of you. That doesn't mean that I belongs to you or I am the member of your home. No, doesn't matter. So look at the syntax. That is very important. This type function name is an independent function. If I am going to make it as a friend of your class, at the time of declaration of friend, I need to use a keyword friend. And while I have declared it as a friend, it can access the private member of the class also. Let's see example. There is a class box and you are looking, there is a member function set width, which is defined outside from the class. I have used class name scope resolution and defined it, assigned width value. There is a normal function you are looking outside from the class void print width, which is receiving an object. Now I have declared it as a friend by using a friend keyword. Now let's see the void main. You have created an object of box class box. Now you have written box.setWidth 10.0. So the value of width has been set to 10. Now you have called it a normal function print width. This is not a class member. So that's why it is called directly. Now print width you have passed box. Now tell me, while you were passing integer, who was receiving this? Integer. While you were passing float, who was receiving it? A float variable. While you were passing double, a double variable was receiving. Again, you are passing an object. Who will receive it? Any other object. An object belongs to a class. So when you will pass box, this box is received in another object box, and the return type of object is class. Now you have written box.width. You are looking, this width is a private member. Can we access? We cannot access, but we have declared this print width function as a friend of this class, so this will work. So that is the purpose of friend function. If you are making any function as a friend of the class, that function, even though doesn't belong from the class, but can access the private member of the class. So I request every one of you that please compile it, run it, and if you are not able to understand, ask it into the doubt session as well as Google it, explore it. Now, pass and return object from a function in C++. So you have seen in the previous example, we have passed the object to a function. So a function can receive object, a function can return object. An object can be passed to a function just like as we pass to a structure to a function. So let's see an example. I have created a class A and you are looking, there is a function display inside the class which is receiving an object. The return type of object will be the class name because class is a data type and object is a type of class. And you are looking, I am passing an object to there and displaying the value of n and value of ch. You will say that 100 and a will be displayed. That's very simple. Returning object, member function can also return an object. While it is returning the object, the return type will be the class name. So you are looking, input is a function which return type is student, and you are looking display method. I have displayed name, id and age, and here I have called s.input pass 3 value which is returning an object which is received in s, and s.display I have again passed s, and all information is getting displayed. So that is about the basic class concept. I again request, please listen this entire slide, entire session at least 3 to 4 times. While you will not listen it very carefully, it would be very difficult for you to understand the concept of class. So please listen it 3-4 times first, carefully. Try to mug up, not mug up, try to understand the things, whatever I have said. And then at least first copy the programs of the slide, run it onto your compiler. While you are feeling comfortable, then Google it, explore it, read the reference book. Somebody has asked me that which book is good. E. Bala Guruswami you can take, or complete reference you can take. It's your choice. Create some programs based on these all topics, and then you will find it comfortable. So in the very next class, we will discuss about more topic related to class. Till then, I hope that you will practice it out more and more. Thank you very much.